It's the last week of February, and we are counting down. 5 teams are looking to dance in March currently in the men's conference. We want to talk about who's in, who's on the bubble, who needs a couple more games under their belt to get things done. We'll also talk about Saturday's matchups here. Kenton Gibbs from Locked On Wolfpack. Let's go.
Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper, and I'm joined every Monday by Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline is where the game starts. All right, we are talking all things ACC men's basketball, going over some Saturday games, a little touch on the women's games of Sunday, but really want to get into the fact that we have 5 teams feeling good about their standings when it comes to dancing in March, the road to March Madness, playing the NCAA tournament. We also have some teams very much on the bubble. So we're going to talk about the games that we saw over the weekend. Kenton, how you feeling?
You know, I feel great. We saw NC State women's basketball team clinch their first ACC championship since 1990. I wasn't even alive then. Wasn't even a thought then. And so, you know, it was a good weekend for me. And Tommy White hits dingers. So, you know, the number one third baseman in America who happened to sign NC State, not bad. Not bad.
No doubt about it. Jumping in already in the scene, we've got to talk about some ACC men's basketball. It was a great start to the weekend. Syracuse picked up a big win against Boston College, 76-56, a much-needed win for the Orange. They are trying to stay above 500. They're trying to get themselves feeling really good about their future, play in the NIT, right? So good confidence boost for them. Then you've got Louisville, who played Clemson, beat them 70-61. A good win for Louisville. It was a close match. One of the ones we talked about on Freestyle Friday being one of the top ones here. But where I want to stick around for these early afternoon games is Wake Forest and Notre Dame. Wake Forest picking up the big win, 79-74 in regulation, and the Demon Deacons needed to beat those Fighting Irish, who are currently sitting atop of the ACC standings, and they said, not so fast. The Demon Deacons are very serious about being a contender here in conference play. What were your thoughts about this matchup here from Wake Forest?
You know, I mean, the Demon Deacons are who they are, and they're a very quality team at this point. If you still think they aren't for real by now, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what else they need to prove to you. And it's not just Alondas Williams. They have a team that, I mean, I say this and it sounds cliche, but they find ways to win ball games. And being in certain games where you expect them to win by a lot, sure, you should win those, or sure, if you want to be taken seriously as a NCAA tournament team, sure, you should win certain games by a good amount. But there's also just the aspect of this team, when you think about what a complete 180 they've taken from last year, it's flatly been impressive.
Yeah, I would argue that Coach Forbes is the ACC Coach of the Year just by how much improved Wake Forest is. Alondas Williams, if we could give Transfer Guy of the Year in each conference, I would give that to Alondas, but I know he's skating his way to be our Player of the Year. Personally, feel like he has that top spot. He scored 17 of the Wake Forest, his 23 points in the second half, and Jake there it is, LaRavia, okay, had 20 points on the night. A good win for Wake Forest, a tough loss for Notre Dame, but still very much in the hunt of things, and certainly a team that you can't just shy away from. If they play ball right, very dangerous when it comes to tournament time.
Notre Dame is a team that's very reliant on the deep ball, reliant on the deep ball. So what does that mean? You're going to lose some that you should win, because there will be nights where that three ain't falling, and you live with that and you go forward. But let me tell you something. If you live by the three, you die by the three. But everybody loves to say that in reference to the dying by the three, but they forget to talk about when you're living good, you're living good. Ask Oral Roberts last year in the tournament. They found ways to upset highly seeded teams all the way through up to, I want to say, the Sweet 16, just because what? their two guards got hot and three balls were falling. So I mean, it's the reality of all you need sometimes is for those threes to drop and you'll be all right. And Notre Dame is definitely one of those teams that they need them to drop.
No doubt. And it must be nice to have really good guards. I don't know what that feeling is, but like I'm pretty sure it feels good. What you think?
You don't have no good. Listen, we
Your
put out a
your guards are fairly decent. We got one strong forward and one guard who's figuring himself out. Freshman sillies, you
we
know.
put out an APB, a BOLO, a missing persons report. Cam Hayes has disappeared entirely this year. I don't know where he was. I don't know where his game was last year. Listen, if whoever is making Space Jam 3 and going around taking random college players stuff, tell the Monstars to give Cam his ability back. I don't know why y'all did this to Cam. He's a good man, okay?
Man.
He don't deserve this. He don't deserve this.
No doubt. As it stands, Notre Dame is currently number 2 in ACC standings, while Wake Forest is currently number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the standings. My glasses are not, doing great for me, and I have contacts in tonight, so let you know how I'm feeling. We're ready to roll here, though. Talk more about these games. North Carolina, big win against Virginia Tech, 65-57 in Blacksburg. North Carolina needed a Q1 win for whatever that means. We all know about these quads and, quarter. At the end of the day, I feel like Carolina's getting in. But, let's for, argument's sake,
how did Virginia Tech end up in quad 1? Somebody, I need this explained to me like I'm a 6th grader. How did they end up in quad 1?
Considering they're in the middle of the pack of the ACC, a weak ACC like that, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't.
Interesting.
But
anywho, North Carolina gets their first quad 1 win of the year. Congratulations to them. They earned it. They did what they were supposed to do. They went in and
they had to. They had to.
They did what they had to do.
They did what they had to do. But you also would say that for the Pitt game. You did what you had to do, but you did it. And so I think the whole bounce, it's very much on brand for this up and down team.
At the end of the day, you take the ups and the downs, you take the goods and the bad. This was up. So
I'm happy. Do you take the happy with the sads? Because I'm sad most of the time.
If you're a Tar Heel fan, you got to be happy. You got to be happy with a win here, period, right? Because there's an alternative to winning. And trust me, last in the conference, I know what the alternative is now. And you don't want to see the alternative to find the ways to win it.
Listen, you guys are playing with a lot of heart. You're never giving up. Team is really gutsy. All of that good stuff. All of that good stuff.
You know when they use those words to describe your team. Yeah, you guys are just playing with heart every night. You're the team that's getting beat 45-0, but you're still trying.
100%.
So,
100%.
I don't care about the heart. You know who nobody ever says, oh, they're playing with just so much heart. That women's basketball team we got, because they actually win the game. They actually win some games. But that's another story for another time. I'm going to hold that off.
Sure is. Other team I want to talk about, Virginia and Miami. Virginia picking up a big win, 74-71. Virginia, number 6 team currently in the ACC rankings. And I feel like Virginia is a couple wins away from making their case to be in NCAA tournament. I know it's been a very up and down year, but the way they've bounced back, got to Coach Bennett and the rest of those guys stepping up. Beekman, Clark, all of those young men have certainly played big here in the last half of the season.
Well, I think what is so interesting here is this Miami team they've held court. They've done what they're supposed to do pretty much all season. And when you're playing Virginia, when you're playing that pack line defense, if you're going to lose a game to Virginia, you normally think it's going to be Virginia just makes it mucky and messy and just a tough, hard for you to get anything going. That wasn't the case here. That wasn't the case. I mean, Gardner went off. Kihei Clark went off. Who is this? Kevin Cedric went off. There were a lot of guys from Virginia getting it done from all over the place. But Miami's tournament resume is so good. I don't think anybody's debating whether or not they're going to be in come tournament time. Not to mention, you look at the games that they got left. They got Pitt, Virginia Tech, Boston College, Syracuse. They'll be fine.
Yeah, no worries on that end for sure. We're going to talk about a couple other games here, but first, if you guys have not already registered, there was no football this past weekend, but it's okay because there were plenty of games in basketball to bet on, whether it be pro, you talked about the All-Star game or college hoops. All of that good stuff is available to you with BetOnline. From all the latest odds, total player performance props to whatever you need, betonline.net is the number one spot for all of your betting options. BetOnline remains the best spot for all of the sports scores, podcasts, and news. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, UFC odds, right to Olympic coverage and information. So you want to do a little skating, if they're going to do a little triple axel, a little, XYZ, I don't even know. But all I know is you have the opportunity to bet on it. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline is where the game starts. We're rocking and rolling here with Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. We've got a few more men's basketball games to go over from this past weekend. Duke taking care of business, beating Florida State 88-70. We knew they would. Florida State is very man down. They can't be a next man up because how many people you got on the team who are even healthy and available? It's really tough. But a good win for Duke coming off of, when we talk about this season, having lost to Florida State, having the opportunity to take care of that one and put it away. Good on them for, making sure they took care of business.
Here's the interesting thing that I find about this game here. Florida State is finding themselves in a little bit of a tailspin, but that's to be expected to some degree, right? And also, like you said, next man up does not work the same for basketball, where you've only got 15 scholarships. You see what I'm saying? Like, at some point in time, you just literally run out of men. And then, of course, you're playing freshmen, you're playing unproven guys. Regardless of why they're not starting, they're not starters for a reason. And so, Duke did what they were supposed to do. It being one of the top teams in the country, having all the momentum and energy from Coach K's last ride and whatnot there, they went out there and did what they were supposed to do. So more power to them, or credit to them, because at the end of the day, it's easy to let a game like this become a trap game where you look at a team and you're like, oh, they're reeling. Oh, we don't have to be on our P's and Q's. We can go ahead and, kind of lollygag through this one because they're demoralized and we'll figure it out some way, somehow. They were assertive in this win, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Paolo Banchero putting up 17, as well as Wendell Moore Jr. dropping 16. The whole, starting group had double digits. I still argue that Mark Williams is the best player on this team. I know we talk about Paolo being the player of the year and how he's supposed to be freshman of the year and all these good accolades, but man, does he go missing? I don't care what nobody say. You can argue me down.
Listen, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. If we're talking best player right now, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think that there's any argument for who's better right now, who's more impactful right now, who means more to their team right now. Now, if you're talking what the NBA thinks they'll be in 5 to 10 years, that's a different story. That's a very different.
You think Paolo's going to be better than Mark?
I personally don't really do basketball evaluations like that, but I'm going to tell you this. I'll tell you this. Mark is the last of a dying breed. He is a big man's big man. He is back to the basket. I'm going to hit you with the post hook. I'm going to hit you with I'm going to be a rim runner. I'm going to do all those things. I'm going to block these shots. Not really going to stretch my game out too far. He does those things at an extremely high level, which I think is part of why a lot of these bigs in the NBA are having problems now. They're spending so much time working on their shot and working on the ability to handle the ball and pass the ball. They're losing the basic fundamentals of being a big man. So whenever a big man comes along with good post footwork, he dominates off almost instantaneously because they're not doing it anymore. It's just not being coached anymore. Everybody's a stretch big now. You're shooting 20% from deep. You ain't stretching nothing but the other team's lead. That's the only thing you're stretching, young man. So I again, if we're talking 5 years from now, I don't know who's going to be better. And I think what I will say, what I do wholeheartedly believe, the gap between those two is much lesser than everybody makes it out to be. I'll say that.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no doubt. Agreed. All right, last game we want to touch here. Pittsburgh, there it is, and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, gang, clearly I don't even want to talk about this game. Can't even get it out. Georgia Tech beating the Panthers 68-62. This is what pisses me off about Pitt. It's what pisses me off more about Carolina. How are you going to let a Pittsburgh team beat you that can't even hold their own against a Georgia Tech? Like, come on, bro.
You know what? And I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah. Pittsburgh, why would y'all lose to Georgia? We was not supposed to be last in the ACC. We were out. We beat Georgia Tech. We did our job and not be a last in the ACC. And Pitt, y'all gonna go let us down. I'm disgusted. You
The best
know,
of the least. Come on.
we were supposed to be the best of the least, but then
Okay.
Pitt showed up and said, "Well, hold on now.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation about this. Let's not get too hasty or anything like that. Let's not jump out the window here." And
Right.
this again, this is a bad ACC, and we're talking about two teams at the bottom of it. Which again, you want to talk about 180s that we were just talking about before. Pastner's crew from last year just has fallen off a cliff, seemingly.
Jose
So
Alvarado, where you at? Moses Wright, where you at? My
they are
gosh.
not walking through that door. Neither
Not.
one of them are walking through that door, unfortunately. I
Yeah,
know
they
Pastors,
down bad.
he probably putting in some call. Jose, come on. Come on. I know
He looking at that portal heavy, bro.
where you
Yeah.
at, but no, these at the end of the day that to see these two teams still playing hard. Yes, we're at that point in the season where we're congratulating teams for playing hard because they got nothing to play for. It is. I mean, it was a more entertaining game than you think based on their standings.
Sure, no doubt. All right, well, we're going to talk a little bit quickly about these Monday games. We have Georgia Tech playing Syracuse, clearly both coming off wins and wanting to keep that momentum rolling. Florida State will play Boston College on ACC Network. Louisville will play North Carolina. Of these games, none really like jumps out the page at you, but I will say Louisville and North Carolina has to win this one. Everyone else is kind of like, we're all
I
fighting for the NIT.
I disagree. I think the
Really?
Syracuse has a shot at the tournament. They got a
Huh?
shot. They got hear me out.
I think the loss of Edwards really put them out of the conversation. They're
Hear me.
also a live by the three, die by the three team.
And that's what I was just about to say. They're an exciting draw. They got a big name, Jim and Buddy Boeheim, big names, big
Okay.
brand. Syracuse is a big brand. If you can find a way to win enough going down the stretch and win two, maybe three in the ACC tournament, maybe they could play their
Okay.
way in.
Stop.
They
Oh,
could play
stop.
their way in.
Oh, stop.
As much as we would like to believe that, oh, the tournament is decided completely fairly and only the best teams get in and all that. Now, we saw that Trae Young team of Oklahoma that was god awful get in the tournament.
Syracuse still has to play Notre Dame. They still have to play Duke at home, and they still got to go play North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And their
Again,
final game is Miami. Bro, they ain't
but
gonna win all
listen,
four of them
but hear me
matchups.
out.
Ain't
Hear
no
me
way.
out. They
Okay.
don't need to win out to get in. Listen to the
Okay.
teams you just named, right? If they come away from that 2-2, 2-2.
Okay. Okay.
And win two more in the tournament, 2 to 3 more in the tournament. You're telling me that's not a resume just in those games alone. Forget everything they've done up to this point. Just in these last couple games. Now, are they capable of winning those games? I doubt it. I'm not sure.
What
I'm
the heck are
highly
you?
doubtful.
Why are you pumping it up? What the hell are you
What
talking
what I'm saying is they have something to play for too. If you're
Okay.
talking about teams that have something to play for,
Okay.
you can have
Okay.
something to play for and still lose. But I'm
That's
saying,
fair.
I'm
That's
saying
fair.
they got it's in front of them. It's in front.
Okay.
Because of course, if they, Jim Boeheim teams, they like to go to sleep through the entire year. Then they wake up at
They slept
tail.
too much. They slept too much this year.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, but if they went, like I said, if they just win two of these, especially if one of those is over Duke, especially over a Duke team that, like you said, their best player
Beat
according
them
to
by
most
30
folks.
the first time out? Okay.
But
Cool.
have we not seen already in this conference teams get the wheels
Fair,
whipped off in one game?
fair enough. Fair
I'm
enough.
just saying.
I ain't gonna hold you. You got it.
Again,
I'm gonna let you prove your point. You got it.
I'm not saying that this team is getting into the tournament. I'm not saying they're going to beat Duke. I'm saying they got a whole hell of a lot to play for. There's a lot in front of them to play for.
Tyler Aki damn sure texted you, didn't he? I can feel it.
Tyler, me and Tyler, we're great friends. I love Syracuse's communications and journalism school. They got two of the best. They got some of the best up there. Tyler, you my guy. Blue, you my boy, Blue. But yeah, no, I'm just saying they got stuff to play for. That's all I'm saying.
All right, no doubt. Listen, guys, we know that it's time of year where you're trying to still get right, still get those fitness goals. Just because it's the end of February doesn't mean you can't hold on and try and get yourself right. That's why you should try this healthy protein bar in Built Bar. Have you tried their puffs, though? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallowy, fluffy, delicious protein bar. They are a delicious treat, 100% covered in real chocolate. But frankly, all Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, puffs included. Low calorie, high protein. Go to built.com, scroll down to the macros charts, and you'll be blown away. You can also get different flavors: mint brownie, coconut almond, white chocolate cookies and cream, and more. At Built Bar, they are all about taste. They make it delicious first, and then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off every time. Go to built.com, use promo code LOCK15, and you'll get 15% off your order. Again, use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. So we're wrapping up the show here with Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack podcast, available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're available wherever you can download and subscribe. You can even follow us on YouTube. All right, we got to talk about the fact that there's 5 teams currently in the bracketology 2022. Duke, men's basketball here, Duke, Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina, Wake Forest. That's who's making the tournament. Virginia is number 6 on the cusp. Okay. I feel like the Syracuse is right behind Virginia. They're not out of it. And then you talk about Virginia Tech, the one you tried to shade earlier, but they're right behind them. It's anybody's game. We all know with this ACC, anybody can win because we've seen the top.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm not even sure
lose.
all 5. I'm not even sure all 5 of the teams you named as the shoe-ins make it.
Boy, stop.
I'm not sure.
Who of the 5 ain't making it?
You know who, and I don't want to say it because
is it only one?
It's
so
only
you only
one.
think North Carolina's not making it?
I think that they're at the highest risk of not making it. Only because we have seen from them. They're
fraudulent. We've seen that.
We've seen a good team at times. We've seen a team that's like, what is this? Oh my God, this is. Oh, I got to cover my eyes. This is, this is Vince Carter ain't walking through that door type time. So.
Wait, time out. Shout out to Vince Carter, bro, because he definitely got snubbed in top 75 NBA all-time list. But that's another story for another day. Anywho, you ain't got to do it. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna
do it. I mean,
we don't have time for the whole discussion.
But
ain't that basketball? Oh, okay, cool. Go ahead.
No, it is not. There's a lot more to basketball than running.
Is it? Is it?
You know what? We not
exactly why
we're gonna keep it simple today. We keep it simple. But I'll tell you this. Virginia is trending in the right direction. They're a team that always seems to get their act together around tournament time. Syracuse, same thing. How many times have we said about Syracuse in years past? There is no way that they belong anywhere in the tournament. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the year,
in the Sweet 16,
they win 2 or 3 games that they shouldn't, and then they get in the ACC tournament, and all of a sudden, that zone that was atrocious all year is giving everybody fits, and they get to like the semifinals, maybe the finals, and all of a sudden, you got to put them in the tournament.
And so what you're saying is Syracuse has us right where they want us. Like they're right here for us to slightly believe in them.
We all laugh at the old man that don't know how to wear his mask. And talk about, he going to see now. He's dumb like a fox. That man has hit the ACC with the rope-a-dope for the last 6 years now. And we still believe every time that he's going to be done when it matters. And every time his team show up in a way that get them either in the tournament or very close. So
100%. It's going to be close. It's going to be a nail biter. I think it's going to be a very good tournament. And they're playing in New York for the ACC tournament. Let's talk about that. They're playing in Brooklyn. You got the New York fans might be heavy Syracuse. They could go on a nice little streak.
And watch this. Remember all those Big East tournaments when Johnny Flynn and Neitzel and all those guys were just making magic happen out of nothing in the tournament. Fab, Melo, all those guys. They was like, oh yeah, this is a good team, or this is an all right team. And then next thing you know, they got the Big East tournament and showed they hold behind. All I'm saying is that they at home.
Don't say it's not possible, because it damn sure could happen. I mean, this became a whole we're putting on for Syracuse podcast, but it's fine. It's an episode that we never knew we needed. But I do want to touch here on the women before we get out of here. Number 11, Georgia Tech, 92, beating Clemson. And then we also saw, make sure I have the right, do I have the right games? Yeah, there it is. No. Wrong games. There it is. North Carolina beating Florida State, taking care of business. A big win after beating Louisville. There we go. Then we got Boston College picking up a big win against Wake Forest. Louisville took care of business with Virginia Tech. NC State held it down against Syracuse. Miami upset Georgia Tech, which we're going to come back to that one. Duke beat Clemson. Okay, getting their first couple ACC wins. I feel Duke finally needed some good ones. Virginia beat Pittsburgh. Miami beating Georgia Tech is probably the wildest game of the year to me because Miami beat them 51-39. Georgia Tech was held to 39 points. Ain't never seen that in my life.
Georgia Tech is a team that they love to make it messy, make it sloppy, slow it down, and defensively, you know you're gonna have a hard time putting up points, but it sometimes comes at the cost of their own offense. It sometimes comes at the cost of, we're not gonna we want to force you into taking bad shots, but if you don't take them, we're gonna have a hard time generating offense. We want to force you to make a stupid cross-court pass so we can pick it off and be going the other way with our bigs who can run the court as well as they protect the rim and all that. And they're going to get down the court before your bigs. Easy 2 points for Cuba. Easy 2 points for Hermosa. That wasn't the case in this game. And Miami, at the end of the day, this is a team that, let's be honest, they lost to UNC by 50 earlier this year, 40 or 50?
Yes, that's my point. Yeah.
This loss is a bit of a head scratcher, but then when you see the 39 points from Georgia Tech, they had one of those games where Georgia Tech's offense just goes, cold is not the word. They go frostbitten. They go anemic. They go, we don't have a bucket in us and we couldn't find one if you put us in a mop factory.
I just think that it's like, as much as we talk about the break, what is the word I'm looking for? As much as we talk about the drop off of college women's basketball, that to me was just wow. I just never thought I would see Georgia Tech getting held to 39 points against a Miami team that's, plays god awful most of the season.
I think that the drop off in talent and all that in women's basketball is greatly exaggerated. Let's be honest with ourselves here. The number one team in the nation as far as basketball goes, right? I believe it is it's not Tennessee. They just lost. Who is the number one?
South Carolina
Tennessee. For men's basketball?
Oh, you're talking about men's basketball. Auburn.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking Bruce Pearl, so of course Tennessee came to mind. Anyway, no shade, Auburn, no shade. It's all love. Anyway, so if you're talking about Auburn going up against the number 15 or 16 team in the nation this year, like we would see some upsets. If you're talking about some of these teams that are on the back half of the top 25 and some of the losses they've taken this year, Michigan State is on the back half of the top 25 and they've lost to some bums this year. Absolute bums. So, the reality is folks are greatly exaggerating the chasm that there is in talent. At the end of the day, of course, most years you're going to get a one or two who are just, they're better than everybody else. And it's apparent from a mile away, but it's not that big. Anybody can win on any day, as we saw. NC State lost to a Notre Dame team that then went on to lose to an unranked team a little after that. Like, this is,
it's just as fun as men, and I wish people would see that, Exactly. Say all that to say. It is just as fun and exciting.
And if we want to talk about who's better this year, ACC women's basketball has a lot more than 5 teams that are going to be in that tournament this year.
Yeah, 100%, no doubt. And I think of just shout out to Player of the Week, Deja Kelly, and just you think about so many players who can get ACC Player of the Week, and then you get national, recognition. There's so many really talented women who are going to play at the next level that you can't sleep on it. Every time I say get up here, I'm going to make sure I advocate for it because this really is fun basketball. If you enjoy basketball, like if you just enjoy the game, it ain't going to be dunks every 5 seconds and all kinds of stuff. But if you enjoy hoops, you definitely get some good stuff for women's basketball.
And that's the thing. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Most of these folks do not enjoy women's college or basketball as a whole as the sport. Most folks enjoy the spectacle and they're casual fans. It's like with football. They don't enjoy seeing somebody properly defeat a reach block. They don't enjoy seeing a proper platform just drive a defensive tackle into the dirt and then go up to the next level and kick a linebacker's behind too. They don't enjoy that. They enjoy seeing, oh, look, that's a nice broken tackle. Oh, look, that quarterback threw that ball 60 yards. That's nice. Oh, look. And not saying that those things don't require technical
Sure.
skill and all that too. But what I'm saying is they enjoy the big highlights, the top 10 on ESPN. It's the reality for all sports.
Yeah.
And because naturally the women cannot produce those at the same rate because of the lack of dunking and all that, it's now devalued, which is just terrible. It's just terrible. Stop calling yourself a hoops fan. You're a dunks fan, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at how everybody reacted to the dunk contest. We're a fan of seeing good dunks. There were none available. Shout out to Cole Anthony. Made the whole ACC look bad. You made us all look bad, young man. So, I mean, that's reality.
No, facts. All right, that's our time here, but we want to make sure that we get Kenton's information. Can you remind these folks of where they can find you, follow your work?
Absolutely. And my laptop about to die, so if it does, I apologize, good people. But anyway, Locked On Wolfpack, wherever you're listening to this, and LO_Wolfpack on Twitter. Listen, it's President's Day, but some of us still got to work, okay? Some of us been working hard all day in the trenches. I'm joking.
That ain't got nothing to do with your charger. That ain't got nothing to do with your charger. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs, we hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Until next time.